So in a nutshell, Stackup is a military charity that's leveraging, gaming, geek culture, all that stuff that we're all so passionate about as gamers, and leveraging that to improve mental health for, active duty service members as well as veterans, giving a sense of community and kind of just uniting people through the shared language of gaming. So our community and all of our efforts are first about getting, gaming out to vets and active duty as a way to support them, but also about building a community of civilians and veterans who can, reach common ground through gaming. Our four primary programs, we do supply crates, which are video game care packages that we build and send out to deployed service members all over the world, but also to veterans at home. And those are going to be consoles, games, everything you need to basically set up a game night. And if you're downrange, but for folks back home as a way to get them back in touch with the folks they served with and bring them into our gaming community. We have our Air Assault program, which has been on a somewhat of a hold during COVID. We're looking forward to get back to soon, where we find deserving veterans and we bring them out to gaming events like this to get them plugged into the community, introduce them to their favorite game makers on the tabletop side, but also developers and studios on the video game side. We have our Stacks program, which is local volunteer teams all across the U.S. and a few international that are just doing good works in their communities as representatives of Stackup. So they'll do veteran outreach, but they'll also focus on community betterment projects and just the folks being like, go out, do good, and we support what they're doing so that way they have the resources they need to go out and be a force for good in their communities. Lastly, our Overwatch program, where we have 24/7 crisis intervention and peer-to-peer mental health support, I know it's a mouthful, through our Discord server, which in a nutshell is anybody who might be going through some challenges, mental health struggles, can come into our community, let us know they want to talk to somebody, and we'll put them in touch with, we'll immediately connect with one of our volunteers or staff members who can just be a listening ear. We're there for you. If you need to process some stuff, just need somebody to talk to.
Wonderful. Can you tell me a little bit about what is it about gaming that really helps bring these people together, especially for aid of mental health and things like that?
So the best way that I can speak to that in a short, without going into a 3-hour panel on it, would be to share my story. I'm a disabled Marine veteran. I'm retired. You can see the cool eye. I'm also missing, I lost my left hand while I was serving as a bomb squad tech in the Marine Corps, explosive ordnance disposal, for those of you in the know. And I spent 2 years at Walter Reed recovering from my injuries, going through occupational therapy, physical therapy, emotional therapy, going through all the work, just trying to get myself back on track and figure out what my next chapter was going to look like. During that time, like many people, I struggled with a lot of identity crisis issues. I struggled with depression. And for me, I had a lot of research at my disposal. I leaned on my friends, leaned on my family. But the best way I can put it is there's a lot of great organizations and great communities out there to be plugged into, but they're not always going to be available when you need them. So for me, there was something about that 2:30 to 3 in the morning time frame where I'd wake up in the middle of the night, I was having nightmares, I was struggling with depression, and I kind of had two options. One was get up on bed, sit up on the side of my bed and stare at the wall for 3 hours until I could get back to sleep, or I could go hop on a game console or on my computer and just play some games for a little bit. And sometimes I would just hop on and play some games by myself and get a little bit of distance from my issues, just get some escapism. Other times I'd jump on, and I had other friends of mine who were also up in the middle of the night. It's like, you know what, why don't we do this together? And so we'd play Call of Duty, we'd play Battlefield, whatever. We'd get into a game together, have a good time, and before you know it, you're not really thinking about those things that are keeping you awake at night. You're just enjoying the bonding that comes with gaming. And also we find that's not a uniquely military thing. So for as a military service member transitioning back into civilian life, it's easy to get caught in a rut of only wanting to connect with other veterans. And so we find that you get into a game, you're not thinking about what people's backgrounds are. You're just gaming with people. And what you find is that you let your guard down a little bit and you start talking about those things that are bugging you when you're distracted by the pixels. And so for us, we all have our own stories. Many of you watching have your own stories about a time in your life where you were struggling, and it just felt good to get lost in a game for a little bit, either by yourself or with friends. And that's really what this organization is all about: is taking that, harnessing it, and using it to improve the livelihood of everyone that it touches.
That's really great. For people out there who see Stackup and are wondering about the idea of sending these the care packages out there and sending video game packages to veterans and people who are active in military service and everything like that, where can they go to either support or donate or help out with that?
Absolutely. So the easiest way to just put your finger on the pulse of everything we're doing, there's two ways to do it. One, go to stackup.org. That easy, stackup.org, and that's our website, which has links to everything that we're doing, as well as more information on all of our programs, and can tell you everything about who we are, all of our transparencies out there. You can also become a member of our Discord. That's also because we do weekly meetings every week where we just open it to the public. We talk about what we're working on. We give everybody a chance to ask questions or to speak up themselves. And our Discord server is discord.gg/stackup.org. So stackup.org spelled out. That's our vanity link. We're easy to find out there. Heck, I think you can even Google Stackup Discord, and we're going to be the first thing you see. So my biggest encouragement to people, if you're curious, you want to know more, come join our community. You can talk to us directly. You can see what we have going on and interact directly and figure out if there's a spot you want to get plugged in.
Really wonderful. Going into a little bit more about Stackup was started back in 2015.
Yeah, no, Veterans Day.
Veterans Day.
Curiously enough, it wasn't intentional. It just worked out that way. November 2015.
2015.
We incorporated.
And can you speak to a little bit about like the growth of Stackup from that point until like now? Like how has it been?
So back then, when we were starting this organization, it was just a handful of us. So our founder, Steve Machuga, he basically put everything on the line as far as his own financial security and all that stuff to get this started. Myself, I was a friend of his. I was helping him out as a volunteer, and it was actually about a year or so before I was a full-time staff member. And back then, it was, we couldn't afford to pay ourselves. It was just, we were just getting out there doing it, and it was just a small crew. We had some support, and over the last 6 years, we've seen just growth every single year as more folks become aware of what we're doing. You can see the bright red shirts. We'd get crews out there. We'd have 12, 14 people out there on a pack show floor in red shirts running around. Everybody going, who is this group of people in red shirts? Hence the Red Shirt Raiders is the name we have for our community. And just getting out there and showing people that we're a resource, and honestly just trying to connect with as many people as possible. And over the years, we've been very fortunate that our programs have seen success. Particularly our Overwatch program put us on a lot of people's radars because we're out here for anybody who needs just emotional support. And so people get drawn into the community, or they meet us at conventions. And one thing leads to another, and every year we grow, and each year is bigger than the year before, and we're real privileged and honored to be able to continue doing this, and especially at the level that we're at now. It's been a real blessing, but we're definitely a far cry. Our founder always jokes about how far our little pirate ship has come in the last 6 years, and it's definitely, we're a far cry from sending care packages out of our basements. And it's awesome, and we're just grateful that it resonates with the community. We get people coming out who maybe don't even have any military experience in their own, don't get it, but understand what we do because they get the gaming side of it. It's like that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You don't have to understand the military side of it. If you're a gamer, you're one of us. If you're a veteran, even if maybe you don't have gaming background, but if you ever wore the uniform, you're one of us. And that's U.S., allied, all of it. We don't just support U.S. forces, we support our allies as well.
Yeah, one of the things I found very wonderful about the Stackup organization is that it supports veterans, supports active military members, and you would think that it's pro-military or it's something like that, but it's really a pro-mental health organization.
That's really what it is. The funny thing is, when we started it, I call it guerrilla mental health because we were kind of we didn't shy away from it because we didn't want to be recognized as mental health, but we shied away because we wanted to reach that demographic of veterans that maybe felt a stigma about seeking mental health. So everything was, it's just it's a gaming community. We're sending these care packages, and we snuck the mental health in there. And over time, we've been able to kind of lift the curtain and say, hey, surprise, this was about mental health all along. It's all about taking this hobby, this passion of ours, and using it to improve our well-being. Yeah. And now people get it, and it's been a lightning rod, and it's amazing. And yeah, like you said, it's not about the military. It's about supporting those who serve and those who serve, but also welcoming people who didn't serve into this community. Sharing culture, like, hey, we'll give you some insight into what it was like to serve, and you're going to give us some insight into what it's like to be somebody who didn't serve but still wants to be supported. It's great. It's a melting pot.
Oh, wonderful. This is your, I believe, Stackup's first time at GenCon.
At GenCon,
correct?
Yeah. I have been trying to make this happen for 2 years. So I'm not the founder of the organization. I'm the director of veteran services. but when it comes to getting these events locked in, I have been talking with the GenCon folks for about 2 years now, and 2020 was going to be our first big time. We're going to GenCon. I was so fired up about it. I'd been wanting to do this convention for years. I wanted to add it into our rotation, and then COVID, and I was like, no! I was so worried we were going to lose it. But you know what? We got into 2020, and as soon as GenCon was coming back around, their folks reached out and said, hey, we're doing GenCon this year. Do you still want to be a part of it? And I was like, yes, absolutely. So this is a cool watershed moment for me, just as somebody who loves games and loves tabletop as much as I love video games, to be able to come out here and show Stackup to a new group of folks who might not know who we are.
Wonderful, wonderful. And final question, just a quick fun one. What are you playing? What's the game? What's the game?
I'm a little bit late, but my last few gaming weeks have been dedicated to Ghost of Tsushima, and it's amazing, and I loved it, and it was everything that I wanted it to be. And now it's over, and I'm feeling that loss of what do I play next? And so I just reinstalled State of Decay 2, which is a go-to favorite of mine to dink around in. I'm a Final Fantasy 14 player, and a Destiny 2 player. So those are my two live service games of choice. And then usually I love single player. I love narrative-heavy stuff. Ghost of Tsushima scratched every itch that I had, and now I'm just waiting for the next Ghost,
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know it's a hectic convention, but I'm glad that you guys are here. One more time for the folks at home, where can they go to find out that information about
Check us out at
Stackup?
stackup.org. Check us out on Discord. You can Google Stackup. We're easy to find. Come out, join the Discord, say hello. We want to meet all of you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.